Dr. S. Jaishankar, Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Your Excellencies, GTS speakers, and distinguished delegates, good morning and welcome to the GTS 2025. It is our continued honor to host the GTS with the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. This is the 9th GTS. It was born out of the creativity and foresight of the current minister and others, including the founding director of Carnegie India, Professor C. Rajamohan. We have strived to keep the GTS outcome-driven. This is a 4-day GTS. We spent the last 2 days in closed-door settings, debating creative new pathways for cooperation where possible across critical and emerging technologies, from representatives from over 45 countries, global technology firms, thinkers and scholars from every nook and corner of the universe. We've thought hard about this year's summit theme, Sambhavna. It translates to promise, possibilities, opportunity. In several discussions, though, with colleagues from around the world, many have said that this is an odd phrase for this point in time in life. Why Sambhavna is a question that we've been asked constantly. Where is the promise when the global order is breaking? I've repeatedly been told. Yet, when sitting across the table in India with experts and decision makers from across the world to discuss the future of AI, for instance, the words promise and opportunity are used in repeat. Life-changing technologies tested at scale and cost explains a part of this optimism. But the other portion of the positivity, I believe, has to do with an unsaid and unstated ambition to make the most of this moment in global change. Innovate is the crying call for those working on space, semiconductors, AI, DPI, cyber technologies, and in our policy architectures. As India's strategic technology journey evolves, so has the GTS. Last year, we spoke of alternative ways to deploy DPI. This year, we have in the audience those countries that are implementing this new conceptual logic. The last time at GTS, speakers were exercised over the staying power of the United States in its commitment to a new technology relationship with India. Currently, a new US-India framework called Trust is in the works. We've spent a considerable amount of time on this framework over the last 2 days, from AI to pharma and nuclear cooperation to defense. The research-led policy work done at the GTS and done by many of you seated in this room will be baked into the Trust framework to be launched sometime soon. Last time at the GTS, we queried about the ambition behind the EU-India Trade and Technology Council. This year, we gathered at a time where sheer geopolitics appears to have pushed both the EU and India into a new verve to deliver on the promise of cooperation. We very much hope that this strain of optimism and the spirit of Sambhavna shapes your dialogues and polite disagreements over the next 48 hours. GTS is also an opportunity to engage with those hearts and minds of the future. We are very proud to host a class of GTS ambassadors from across universities and technology firms in different parts of India and Bhutan. A very warm welcome to all of you. We are equally delighted to welcome officer trainees from India's Susma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Affairs, who've either been told or have voluntarily come, who will come and spend the next 2 days over here. A big welcome to many of you seated back in the room. The various collaborations and the intensity with which we're able to invest in the GTS would simply not be possible without the support of our partners. This is them on the screen, or they will soon be on the screen. We're quite clear that these partnerships not only make GTS possible, but more importantly, it makes GTS more effective. There is a GTS ecosystem that is too large to vocalize, but here they are. We can today reach audiences in the nooks and corners of India in several different languages and across the world because of the media and digital partnerships which are invaluable to democratize GTS away from the English language. The generous support of the Ministry of External Affairs have allowed us to keep recreating GTS, developing this larger ecosystem. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Raghuram S., the inspired Joint Secretary in Policy Planning and Research, and his incredible team, without which this GTS simply would not happen. Lastly, could I please thank the incredibly charged, driven, and unfailingly supportive team at Carnegie India, led by our GTS convener, who's been doing this for 9 years, a lot longer than I have. Shruti Sharma, started with Raja in 2016, and just give a big welcome to many of you who join us not only in this room, but also virtually from 150 countries from around the world. With that, could I have the honor of welcoming on stage Dr. S. Jaishankar, the Honorable External Affairs Minister, to say a few words, followed by conversation.